Once we've set up our environment, it's time to start building out the rest of our scene with objects or assets. The first thing to take note of is our item menu on the left side of our design space. This is the button that looks like three sideways exclamation points. Clicking on that button will show you all of the assets in your scene, and you can see that we begin with one asset already here, the camera. The camera is what enables us to view and in some cases interact with our scene when we click the play button. As we add more assets, this menu will allow us to find and modify those assets more easily. In this video, we're going to focus on the first category of assets, which are our basic items. Clicking on Library in the lower left-hand corner, these basic items are those in the first 6 categories: characters, animals, housing, nature, transport, and items. We'll focus on building assets and special assets in later videos. To begin adding items to your scene, you can scroll through the various categories, or you can click on Search and try searching by keyword. Since my example is an outdoor scene, I'm going to start by looking for a tree. When I find a tree that I like, I can simply left-click and drag it from the library into my scene. If I don't like where I've placed it, I can just click and drag again to move it to a new position. If you accidentally move something where you didn't mean to move it, you can use the Undo button in the upper left-hand corner to move it back. This button will become your best friend. When an asset is active, usually because you've clicked on it, this 4-panel menu will appear over top of it. We have 2 toggle buttons at the top and 2 slider buttons at the bottom. Clicking once on the top left button allows us to rotate our asset in 3 dimensions. Once we've rotated our object exactly where we'd like it to be, we can simply click the button to turn it off. If you don't need quite so much precision, you can also rotate your object horizontally using the blue circle at the foot of the asset. The upper right button allows for precise movement. Clicking on it once will bring up 3 different colored arrows that enable us to again position our object in 3 dimensions. And like the rotation button, when we're done with it, we can simply click it again to turn it off. The bottom left button is our elevation slider. Hold left click on this slider and move your mouse up and down to change the elevation of your asset. Unlike the top 2 buttons, you only need to release the slider to stop using it. Similarly, the bottom right button is our scale slider. Again, hold left click on this button and move your mouse up and down to proportionally scale your object. Right-clicking on your asset opens up even more options for customization. For example, I could rename my object so that I know exactly what it is when I'm looking at it in my item menu. And I can also click on Material to change the color and in some cases the material of your asset. This allows you to add customization and personality to your scene even when there are a finite number of options in the CoSpaces library. However, we aren't only limited to the CoSpaces library. If you click on Upload, you will see that you have the option to upload 2-dimensional images, 3-dimensional models, videos, and sounds. In addition to uploading from your own computer, you can also use the web search feature to find publicly shared images and models for your scene. For example, CoSpaces doesn't have a great variety of video game systems in its asset library. However, if I go into Upload, click on 3D models, and click again on web search, I can search for exactly what I'm looking for and bring that model into my scene the same way I brought in that tree. It's important to note that imported items often lack the same customization options as CoSpace's built-in assets, but this integration is a great way to further personalize your CoSpaces scene.